Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning Canadian English. My name is Alex.
And I'm Chloe. We're so glad you could join us for our 20th episode. Can you believe it, Alex? 20 episodes.
It's amazing, Chloe. And for this special episode, we're tackling a big topic. We're going to talk about the top 5 things to know when coming to Canada.
That's right. Whether you're planning to visit, study, or immigrate, Canada has some unique cultural and practical aspects that can be surprising for newcomers.
Exactly. Knowing these things can make your arrival and transition much smoother and more enjoyable. So we've compiled a list of what we think are the 5 most important things to be aware of.
Shall we dive into number 1? I think it's the one everyone thinks of when they hear Canada.
Let's do it. And you're absolutely right. Number 1 is the weather is no joke.
It really isn't. People see pictures of beautiful Canadian summers, but they often underestimate the winters. Depending on where you are in the country, it can get incredibly cold.
Right. We're talking temperatures that can drop to minus 20, minus 30, or even minus 40 degrees Celsius with the wind chill.
So the most important advice here is to invest in proper winter clothing. A good quality winter coat is essential. Don't try to get by with just a light jacket.
Yeah, and layering is key. That means wearing multiple layers of clothes. For example, a thermal shirt, then a sweater, and then your big coat. This traps heat and keeps you warm.
And don't forget waterproof winter boots, a warm hat, gloves or mittens, and a scarf. Protecting your hands, feet, and head is critical.
Totally. But it's also important to remember that Canada is a huge country. The weather in Vancouver, on the west coast, is much milder than in Winnipeg in the prairies.
That is a great point. Vancouver gets a lot of rain in the winter, but not as much extreme cold and snow. So our advice is to research the specific climate of the city you are moving to.
And summers can be surprisingly hot and humid in places like Toronto and Montreal, so it's not all ice and snow.
Okay, so that covers the weather. What's number 2 on our list, Alex?
Number 2 is something that can cause a lot of confusion for newcomers: tipping culture.
Oh, this is a big one. In many cultures, tipping is not expected or the service charge is already included in the bill.
Exactly. But in Canada, like in the United States, tipping is a standard practice in service industries. The minimum wage for service workers who receive tips is often lower, so they rely on tips as part of their income.
Right, so who are we expected to tip?
Well, the most common are servers at restaurants, bartenders, hairstylists or barbers, taxi drivers, and hotel staff who help you with your bags.
Okay, and what is the standard amount? How much should people tip?
A good rule of thumb for restaurants is between 15 and 20% of the bill before tax is added.
Before tax, that's an important detail. So you calculate the percentage on the subtotal, not the final total.
Correct. When you pay with a card, the machine will often give you options like 15%, 18%, or 20%, which makes it easier. If the service was excellent, people might tip more, and if it was poor, they might tip less.
So it's not mandatory, but it is very strongly expected.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's a social custom that's very important to follow.
All right, that's very helpful. Now let's move on to number 3. This is another area people have questions about. It's healthcare.
Yes. Many people hear that Canada has free healthcare. And while that's true in some ways, the reality is a bit more complex.
It's more accurate to say it's a publicly funded system. It's paid for by the taxes that people who live and work in Canada pay to the government.
Exactly. So when you are a resident of a province and have a health card, you can go to a doctor or a hospital for most essential services without having to pay directly.
The health card is the key. You need to apply for one in your province as soon as you are eligible. There can be a waiting period, so it's important to have private health insurance to cover you in the meantime.
That's a vital tip. Don't wait. But it's also important for people to understand what is not covered by public health care.
Right. This is what surprises many people. Things like most prescription drugs, dental care, and vision care, like glasses or eye exams, are usually not covered.
That's why many Canadians have additional private health insurance, often through their employer, to help pay for these costs. So the system is great for major medical issues, but you need to plan for those other health-related expenses.
A very important distinction to make. Okay, what do we have for number 4?
Number 4 is a more cultural point, and it's another famous Canadian stereotype: politeness and the word sorry.
Haha, yes. The idea that Canadians say sorry for everything. And honestly, it's pretty true.
It is, but the important thing for learners and newcomers to understand is the meaning behind it. When a Canadian says sorry, it doesn't always mean they are admitting they did something wrong.
That's right. It's often used more like, excuse me. For example, if you're trying to get past someone in a crowded store, you might say, sorry, can I just get by?
Exactly. Or if someone bumps into you, it's not uncommon for both people to say sorry at the same time. It's a way of being polite and acknowledging the other person's space.
Yeah, it's sort of a social lubricant. It just keeps interactions smooth and friendly. It can also be used to express sympathy, like, I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well.
Right, so the takeaway here is don't be surprised by how often you hear it, and don't be afraid to use it yourself. It's just part of the generally polite and non-confrontational nature of daily interactions here.
A wonderful piece of cultural advice. That brings us to our 5th and final point, and I think we've saved one of the best for last.
I agree. Number 5 is embrace diversity and multiculturalism.
Yes, Canada is officially a multicultural country, and it's one of its greatest strengths. It's a country built by immigrants from all over the world.
And you really see and feel that, especially in the major cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. You will meet people from every corner of the globe.
Totally. On a short walk or a subway ride, you can hear many different languages being spoken. It's a very normal part of daily life here.
And the best part of this, at least for me, is the food. Because of this diversity, you can find incredible, authentic food from almost any culture you can think of.
Oh, of course. The food scene is fantastic. There are also countless festivals throughout the year celebrating different cultures, from Caribbean festivals to Lunar New Year parades.
So the advice here is to be open-minded and curious. Explore different neighborhoods, try new foods, and talk to people from different backgrounds. It's truly the best way to experience modern Canada.
I couldn't agree more. So that's our list of the top 5 things to know when coming to Canada. Should we do a quick recap, Alex?
Let's do it. Number 1, be prepared for the weather, especially the winter. Dress in layers.
Number 2, understand that tipping service staff is a standard and expected practice.
Number 3, know how the public healthcare system works, what it covers, and what it doesn't.
Number 4, get used to the Canadian way of being polite and the many meanings of the word sorry.
And finally, number 5, embrace and enjoy the country's incredible multiculturalism.
We really hope this list is helpful for anyone planning their journey to Canada. It's a wonderful country, and being a little prepared can make all the difference.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening to episode 20 of Learning Canadian English. You can find transcripts of our episodes on our website.
Join us next time when we'll be discussing some fun and common Canadian slang words. Until then, take care.